So in this video, I'm going to show you how I modded my Fatshark base goggles, which are external only, they have no video receiver, and how I installed an Eachine ER32 video receiver. So let's get started. There's only two screws holding the Fatshark goggles together. You just take those out, and then you snap basically the shell apart. There's a couple clips on the front that will snap open. Now, the only piece that we need to do any work to is the piece on the side. It's the little circuit board I pull out. This is where you plug the external RCA connectors in. Just pull that out and just disconnect it from the main board. We won't need to be really touching any of the other electronics inside of here. Now, I wouldn't assume that this is the same on all boards. You're going to want to check this yourself. Basically, what I'm doing is a continuity test with my multimeter. I am basically checking each of the grounds and each of the connectors, video, audio, and voltage, and I'm actually marking this down on a little grid because this is what I'm going to come back and solder to my adapter to plug in the other video receiver. The only ones we really need are video positive, power positive for power in, and a ground. The ground, at least on mine, was common, so we just need one ground. That's it. Mark those and put that somewhere. Mark it too so you know the orientation of the board, because you could flip it around on accident. I have this labeled here for grounds at the top, common, they're connected. Plus for positive power coming in, V for video, and then AR for audio red and audio white. Now it's a good time to take the receiver and do kind of a dry fit. It fits perfect, almost like it's meant to be in there. You need to be looking at where the antenna is going to be coming out. As you'll see, I mod mine because I want it to come out flush. You need to be thinking about where you're going to bring your power out. There's no, right or wrong. It's just where you want it to come out. There's also a lot of room around the front, but you're going to need to be getting 3 wires all the way to the other side where that board is. And there's a lot of room. As you'll see, I just kind of stuff it in there. But basically, you're going to see me building a harness that gets video, positive, power, and a ground over to that board. Now in the future I might want to switch this receiver out for a different one, so I'm actually going to be putting on a little male extension servo cable here so that I can, disconnect it in the future. You could also solder this right on if you wanted to make it cleaner, maybe have a little bit more room. Now using that little grid that I made, I'm going to match it up, black for ground, red for positive voltage, power, and I'm going to use the white to the video connector. Now I'm soldering up the rest of the harness that's going to connect the power and the other side of the servo extension cable. Just be sure that when you're done, you take a multimeter and you do check your voltages and your grounds and your positives before you plug it into your goggles. Once you're sure all your connections are correct, get a video transmitter going and turn them on and just make sure that they're working. Now these little SMAs that they have on this Eachine are actually not the correct polarization I need for my antennas, and it's not a really good angle, so I found the easiest way to remove these is just to snip one end off, or even both, and then just break it off of the board before you resolder the new one on. I'm using an SMA antenna extension cable that I've snipped the end off, and you basically strip the outer coating off, take the strands into two pieces, as you can see are on the sides here, and then just take a very small bit of the inner plastic off, and then tin those three connections. Then you just lightly solder them in place. Don't worry about the other side, that's not needed. It's just a common ground that's just there for reinforcement to keep that SMA there from pulling off as you attach antennas. And I'm just adding some hot glue just as some reinforcement. This shouldn't move at all. There should be no pressure on here. This is just for my own peace of mind. Now there's not too much to say here. There's just going to be a lot of fiddling. You know, hopefully you dry fit before this, so things should go together pretty easily. Get all the cables stuffed in there. Some things to be aware of is that there are pieces on the upper lid that press down, so you're just gonna have to find that out as you press it where things get pinched. Remember too that you need to drill some holes. There needs to be a hole for the antenna, so mark that, figure out where that's going. You need to have two little holes, or even maybe a little rectangle, so you can access the two buttons, and then obviously a little notch or hole somewhere for the power to come out. Also important, the eyepieces for the PID adjustment, or the whatever it is, your eyes separation, those pieces actually move left and right, so make sure that none of the wires get in the way, or else you won't be able to adjust it to your eyes. Well, here we are, the finished product. You know, as we can see, I've got two little holes on the side to access the buttons, antennas coming out the front, power out the back. One thing to remember when you put the headband straps back on, you're going to need to reverse them so that the little hole where the battery holder is on the other side. So take them out, try them. If you do this build, let me know. I'd be interested to see how it works.